Listen, Stephanie White, you ought to pay attention to someone who knows what victory looks like. Someone with real championship experience. Draymond Green is coming down hard on both Stephanie White and the Indiana Fever organization for their mismanagement of Caitlin Clark. He's right to do it. It's high time they were held accountable, and this narrative definitely needs to be brought into the light.
Make no mistake about it, we got Dan Patrick still bombing on the WNBA. We have to get into all of it. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit that bell notification, and hype the video. That'd be greatly appreciated. Make sure you guys go over to KTV Reacted. KTV Reacted.
That's where I'll be funneling a lot of my WNBA coverage, working in tandem with the primary Keep the Vision page. Eventually, I'll stop the cross-posting and strictly upload all that league content right here on the Reacted channel. Anyway, let's jump in. Draymond didn't hold back his criticism of White and the Fever regarding their misuse of Clark.
Caitlin Clark, and this is before her legendary 45-point double-double, okay? This is courtesy of Grant Young. He said Draymond Green seemingly saw this Caitlin Clark stat, and his first thought was that CC needs to be shooting more. Now, we all believe Caitlin Clark needs to be more involved. The offense should be centered around her point blank and period.
Her stats showed just 3 makes out of 19 attempts, right before she shattered records with that historic 4-5-point outing. This is the perspective Green was sharing, and he wasn't afraid to put the Fever and their head coach on blast.
Stephanie White and everybody, okay? Here's what Draymond Green had to say. He said, why is Caitlin only attempted 19 threes this month? Shouldn't she be at least 25 attempts through 5 games this month? That would be 5 attempts per, which is still low for great shooters today. Caitlin Clark should be more of a focal point blank period. More plays should be run for Caitlin Clark. The ball should be in her hand consistently.
For whatever reason, whenever Aaliyah Boston is on the floor, White seems obsessed with making her the primary playmaker. And keep in mind, Green is a guy who has secured multiple titles. Meanwhile, Stephanie White is still ringless. As a head coach, she hasn't reached the pinnacle of the league to claim a championship trophy.
Draymond Green is calling her out and the Indiana Fever out for the way they are running the show with Caitlin Clark. He saw the stat and said, damn, I don't care about her being 3 for 19. Why is she only taking 19? What is going on? This is a guy that plays with the most lethal shooter ever in Steph Curry, so he would get it. You know what I mean? So Stephanie White, Indiana Fever, take heed, take notice, learn something.
For a change of pace. Now we must turn to Dan Patrick, who is absolutely tearing into the WNBA, and Kathy Engelbert regarding the disastrous mismanagement of the Caitlin Clark situation. People are holding them accountable on this front. Let's examine Dan Patrick's perspective on the matter.
For Hour 1, Adam Silver, the NBA commissioner, speaking at CNBC Boardroom Summit, was talking about the Sports Business Journal report that he intervened in WNBA's suspension of Alyssa Thomas after she had the closed fist on Caitlin Clark's throat or neck. He said, I'm not going to comment on that because I don't think it's fair to Caitlin Clark and to Kathy Engelbert either. That's not the real issue here.
Truth is, he's dodging the inquiry by failing to answer. If he simply declared, no, I had no involvement, then that would be the end of it. We all realize Adam Silver had to step in and handle Kathy's responsibilities because she is clearly incapable. Yet, when queried, what was your part? Did you get involved?
I still stand by what Sports Business Journal reported because I was sworn to secrecy on Monday that the NBA was a little more involved in this. And I was told getting more involved in this because the NBA is running the WNBA as well, or at least, you know, they're co-parenting here. But with a commissioner who wasn't going to suspend Alyssa Thomas, feels like somebody came in and said something, and I would think it would be Adam Silver. And this was the Sports Business Journal article that came out 2 days ago. But
indeed, the commissioner discussing that raises the question, What is the genuine issue? That's the core question for us. What's really going on? Can we find someone to provide real answers? If I were the NBA commissioner, I would tell the WNBA commissioner that
we need to have you here doing a press conference. We need to have some transparency here. We need to have not full disclosure, but let us understand. Because now you get players and former players saying, Caitlin Clark is refereed differently, and you're allowed to be more physical with her. Okay, that's their view. They're playing the game, or they're covering the game. Okay, now we have an issue. Now we need to talk about this. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say Steph Curry is being officiated different than anybody else.
their approach to the game is remarkably alike, yet a question remains regarding Caitlin Clark's treatment. Why do refs let defenders crowd her space and use more force than they'd ever permit against Curry? Think of other stars who received unique officiating. If we look at the era of Larry Bird or Jordan, the whistles clearly favored them. They earned those breaks, and rightly so.
I don't think anybody is watching Caitlin Clark going, man, she gets all the calls. Now, she complains a lot about calls or non-calls, and even the latest one where she gets knocked to the ground. I didn't see a knee go into her. It guarding her, but not on the layup contact. I did not see that.
Okay.
Now, do I think she's officiated differently? Yes, I do. And that's unfortunate because that's what I want to know.
What is the league's plan here? Kathy Engelbert has to address this. If I'm not the right person, find a spokesperson who can clarify the situation. We need a direct explanation for these inconsistencies. Where is the common sense? She's lacking any rational basis, which is exactly the issue at hand. It defies logic and borders on pure foolishness. Clearly, there's a deeper problem here that no one can simply ignore or claim isn't happening. According to industry reports, why did the head of the league feel the need to intervene?
Because he knew the optics here. In the moment, maybe you didn't see it, and that's fair to the official. Adam Silver has experience with this. And it goes back to what I said. Commissioners know what the topics are going to be. When Adam Silver comes on, he knows I'm going to ask about
Draft, competitive integrity, or league growth. He's ready because a professional support staff gets him briefed. Similarly, when MLB's Rob Manfred appears, the discussion turns to digital, strike zones or allegations of modified equipment to boost scoring. Just as star players have suggested. He's aware of these debates, much like the constant Pete Rose controversy.
These are uncomfortable topics, but that's why you're the commissioner. This is your job. Like, I'm not asking Kathy to do anything special other than do your job.
That's the key point to hang on to, guys. Nobody's asking Kathy to do anything outside
Somehow,
of
the
her
narrative
job.
frames these demands as excessive, which is honestly pathetic and absurd. Share your perspective. Head to the discussion area below. I'm eager to hear your take on this situation. Remember to engage by liking, following, and spreading the word.